grab your coffee or whatever you're drinking. Let's have a talk. Let's sit down and see who will win Melodifestivalen 23. And of course, my personal top 12 disclaimer. It's a controversial one. Are you ready? Let's talk Eurovision. If you're looking for a video, first of all, that kind of reflects your personal taste and you want this to match, this is not the right video. If you're not looking for dissent, then you may want to skip this one. But if you want to hear some different approach and maybe an opinion that is representative of a different age bracket, you have come to the right place. So there's obviously a difference in what I think, where I think a song will end up in the ranking and how I feel about them. That is obvious. Melfest is notorious for not picking a song, a winning song that I care for, even though they had so many good options to choose from. So what I'll do is I'll work my way through the top 12 here from my last to first place, and in the process also start ranking them where I think they'll end up on the big night. I haven't done that yet, so that'll be a live thing, and I'm allowed to move them around as I'm doing this. So if you like this kind of stuff just for fun, make sure to like this video, and what really helps, please comment, share your thoughts at the bottom as well, so that the YouTube algorithm gods are nice to me. Here we go. In 12th place, my personal top 12th place, I mean, Panetoz. And I love Swedish pop music. This is meaning pop performed in Swedish. I just have issues accessing the band's music. I've tried, I had an issue with the previous efforts when they took part in Melfest, and this year it's almost identical. Nothing has changed. It's catchy enough. Don't get me wrong, it's catchy. But it's repetitive, and melodically it's almost too childlike, like it's almost kids music. And I tried, and I don't have any negative feelings towards the song. It's just I'm the wrong audience. I'm just not into it. So unfortunately, it is my last place. I don't think, though, it's going to come last overall. It'll do well in the televote, but will probably, once again, underperform with the juries. Just a feeling. The last time I checked earlier, they were 7th in the betting odds, and I think that's a reasonable position. I will put them for now, because they're the first ones I'm going to put on here, in 9th place, with the potential of them being moved around. So that's what we are. My number 11, my personal number 11 is Maria Sir, and she has found herself in a very difficult, not just difficult, devastating situation, having to flee her home because of this terrible war. And we don't want to talk about this too much here right now, but we gotta acknowledge it. It's heartbreaking. And I know some will say that she'll get a lot of sympathy vote just for that. And we all know Swedish people are very compassionate. So I understand what they're saying. As you can see, it's not high up in my ranking. It's a little bit too much of a cliche ballad. I just don't click with the song either. Maria, though, she has a really nice voice, first of all, and it's a little bit too covered halfway through the song when the backup track comes in, and then it's just not as impressive anymore. So the song does not cater to my taste. That happens. Keep in mind, though, I'm no idiot, and Maria is going to do quite well. There are also not that many like ballads in the running this year, so that'll also work in her favor as well. She came first in her heat, also a very important factor. So where will she end up overall? Let's say it is a top 5 candidate in my book. She is pretty high in the betting odds as well. I think she was 3rd. I'm considering her for 3rd place right now. I will put her in 3rd. Again, we'll see how that's all going to pan out. 3rd for Maria on the big night. It's going to go big, even though it's not high in my ranking. Number 10. And I told you, I gave you an early disclaimer and warning, so don't start crying now. It's a controversial list. My personal top 10. My personal 10th place is Marcus and Martinus, and I know it's a fan favorite and also considered, as a matter of fact, a potential winner. But this is first my personal opinion. I clearly don't agree with the masses here. Wrong music genre for me. It's too electric for my liking, and I like certain electric music, but this is not for me. And I also was underwhelmed by the vocals, and it's too dark, the staging. My taste is not in line with what will happen. So I'm also, once again, no fool. I told you it's a controversial list, but I do believe that these two young guys will own the vote under the age of 25, right? And I can see them winning even the televote. I think there's still a possibility, although I will downgrade that as well because they were put in 4th in the running order and they gave other songs a better option. So I feel as the producers don't even want them to win. They're currently 2nd in the betting odds, and I think that is where I will put them as well right now. Now it's a little predictable, but Sweden for the most part is fairly predictable when it comes to picking the winner. So we'll see. 2nd place based on my estimate, my prediction for Marcus and Martinus. My number 9, Kiana. Looking at the age breakout again at Melfest, Kiana, she owns the young vote, but loses a little bit of steam with the age group as it goes up in age. I guess I fall smack right there in the middle somewhere. She sounds good and she makes you smile, right? She is so adorable. Catchy, very catchy to me, but once again, repetitive to a point where I can't just ignore it. Like, where did you go? Where did you go? That's the only line in the chorus. And then the robotic part that comes in, it's just not for me. But she grew on me a little bit live. The studio version was completely just but live, I'm like, yeah, I can get it, why people like it, or even love it. I completely understand where you're coming from. Just again, wrong audience. But where is she going to end up on the big night? She's 8th in the betting odds right now. This is a tough one to predict in terms of jury support. This could go decent, it could also flop, big question mark. I will put her in 8th place for now. 8th place for Kiana based on my predictions. And then we'll go from there. My personal number 8, Mariette. And it was probably the biggest girl for me, actually. I think it's an average song, I'm not going to lie, but elevated by a fantastic singer and performer. You can't help but love Mariette. She is so likable. She barely made the final stage, the semi-final stage, I should say, with this song. I think she was 1 point short of not being cut early. So her final appearance is actually a pleasant surprise overall. The staging is fun and very typical Mariette national final song with, unfortunately, no shot at winning. But where will she end up overall? She is actually, the last time I checked, last in the betting odds. I'm not sure if I'm quite there yet. So I will put this in 10th place. My personal number 7 is Paul Ray, and most fun entry from him so far. I'm happy that he finally also made the final stage without having to go through a semi, rather direct till finale. Congratulations, I'm digging the energy of the song, very much so. Paul is in his element there, makes me feel very at ease, elevates the song on top of it. Prefer the live version over the studio version as well. His little bouncy part as well when he sings, you know, we could be, it's super cute. But I do fancy the song quite a bit, I'm not going to lie. He's currently 9th in the betting odds, if I'm looking at this correctly, and I'm worried it's going to be at least has the potential to underperform. The latest caveat that I need to add is he's going to close the show, and that always helps. So I was going to think he's potential last place again, not because it's the worst song, but just based on how people vote. So I will put him in... Jesus, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to put him in 9th place. But that means I have to move Panetoz down. Yeah, I have to move Panetoz down to 10th now, and then Mariette in 11th. Ugh. My 6th place is for Jan Hendrik Fjällgren Ark North featuring Adam Woods. It breaks my heart almost that it's not even higher. Jan Hendrik's first 3 efforts were all in my personal top 3, so his 6th place seems rather low. He tried a more modern, contemporary approach to please the juries because they have been not nice to him in the past in Melfest. But in the process, he lost a little bit of my support here. When his yoik was just the focus of the song, I was all in. Now, it's covered by a loud electric track, and I must say, I'm not a big fan of Adam Wood's vocals either. So together, it doesn't feel quite right to me. But every time his part comes on, I'm just like, I love it, love it. So in terms of results, I'd say, again, 5th, I think. And day 1, he'd won, I will say, and which gives him a nudge towards a better result. I think I will agree with the odds for now and will put him in 5th place. It's also the opener of the night, so we shall see. My personal number 5 is reserved for Sekelius, and it's just a really fun song, and that's all there is to it. It's not the most innovative piece that has ever been written, but I also don't think that's the intent here. Catchiness, visually appealing, and perfect for the well-produced show that's Melfest, right? It fits right in, so yes. So, some predictable negatives that I usually would call out, I'm kind of ignoring it because it flows so much better here. And Tone did well last year, and I can see a similar result this year. I gravitated towards it, I cannot lie. It pulled me in. You did it. You did it. Currently, only 10th in the odds. I still think this has more potential. So, I think, oh man. I'll put it in 7th for now, I think. Yeah, 7th place. Moving on to my top 4. In 4th place, I am putting THEOZ. Son de Ville came out of nowhere last year, right? Wasn't even meant to qualify from the semis, from the heats, because, giving the dreaded second slot, but then overperformed in the finals on top of it. I didn't quite click with it, I'm not going to lie, but I'm clicking with THEOZ songs this year. What a fun piece, I can't get enough of it. And if it wasn't for that part, right, or something like that, that drives me up the wall. I wish they wouldn't have done that. It would have been even better. I would predict this song to flop with the juries. It's a kind of song that feels like a jury flop. But THEOZ did surprisingly decent with the juries last year, which leads me to believe he could do it again this year. He's currently in 6th place with the odds. The highest rated second chance song, by the way. Also significant. I'm torn. What's still available, first of all? I am putting him in 6th place. He also great running order, 11th position. Moving on to my personal top 3. Bronx medal goes to, alright, here we go. Start yelling at me, but it's Lorraine. And I know she's considered a fan favorite. No, that's not right. It's the fan favorite. It's a really, really good song, clearly. In my top 3, Lorraine's staging and just her whole mysterious aura. It just adds to the character and quality of the entry. She elevates it. Again, not necessarily my immediate go-to music, but when the quality is there, you just have to reward it with a great ranking. In my personal top 3, as pointed out, I think lyrically was hoping for a bit more from Lorraine. It's still fantastic, though. And if this is Sweden's entry, then I would obviously not be sad. I mean, right? Now, in terms of predictions, it has a 77% chance as of right now to win, according to the betting odds. While there is a small chance, a tiny, tiny little chance, I think that THEOZ could come second in the televote. It'll obviously sweep the jury vote and will win it overall. I'm not even shocked. Again, I said it earlier, Melfest winners almost always one that's correctly predicted based on the odds. I think it's going to happen here again. Pretty obvious. I still think Lorraine will win both juries and televote in the end anyways. Therefore, my clear number 1. Once again, this comes down to personal taste, but my number 2, and I might be the only one out there, hopefully not, but it is Nordman. And I have a super, super soft spot for this specific Swedish sound. I'm thrilled it's in the lineup. It gives me a little bit of the 2000 vibes, from Melfest. It's my favorite second chance song, obviously, by far. Nordman will do quite well in the televote. I'm pretty sure about that, but I don't expect much from the international juries. They will destroy this kind of music, especially when it's in Swedish, unfortunately. So, I'm thinking like 10th to 9th place with the juries, and could come in the top 5 of the televote. I think that's very reasonable. Comes down to how many % of the vote they'll get. But all these positions are already taken in my ranking. That means I have to move stuff. So I will put them in... Yeah, Nordman's going to be in 8th place in my ranking. That pushes everyone else down. Not everyone, but a lot of one. Oh dear, that means that I have Mariette in last place. That I was not... Okay. Somebody has to come last, I guess. That means, if you paid attention, you know who my personal number 1 is, and that is Smash Into Pieces 6 Feet Under. And I'm telling you, if Smash Into Pieces won Melfest, I know they won't, but I'm just saying, Sweden would probably be my number 1 this year. The song's perfect to me in every shape or form. Absolutely my kind of music to a T. To a T. Fantastic staging. I was just in awe how good this is. That's what I'm talking about. Sweden never picks my favorites. I'm addicted to this one. I listened to it like 10 times, and my absolute and unapologetic #1 in Sweden. Once again, it's not going to happen. Big boo, but it's okay. The song will still exist even without a Melfest win. I will say, though, I have a feeling it's going to do better than some people may think. It is actually, now I'm surprised to see, a 4th with the betting odds, and I will take it up another notch and think they're going to come in 3rd. There you have it, my personal ranking as well as who I think will win. So Lorraine will win Melodifestivalen. I think it'll be a landslide at this point, with everything falling in line, the running order, the hype, and just, you know, how juries usually vote. I do think still that Marcus and Martinus will be the runner-ups. And then Smash Into Pieces will be a surprise 3rd place. Maria Sir still 4th place, great, but that means I have Mariette in last place. That kind of hurts, and I just don't know who else could come last. Yeah, I'll leave my predictions as they are, even though I'm not like super confident, but there you have it. So I wish everyone the best of luck, even if some of the fan favorites are not my #1. I still have nothing but love and respect for everybody. So I would like to ask you who your favorites are. Are you all Lorraine stans? Are there some Marcus and Martinus supporters? Or do we have some other Smash Into Pieces supporters? Some of the others? I would love to hear it. Whoever your favorites are, let me know below in the comment section. Again, please don't hate me if your favorites are not at my top. It's just one ranking. Thank you for watching anyways, and I will see you in the next video.